Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nurul Fadilah, and my student number is 014. And now it's our group turn to present, and I'm not alone. I'm accompanied by my partners. There are Surya, Elma, Ningtiyas, Febby, Cahya, Diva, Nanda, Fahma Indrayana, and Aidatul Fitriyah. And we will discuss about phonological attenuation, processes, and rules. So here we go. First, we have to know what is phonological attenuation. Phonological attenuation is a variation in the form and or sound of the word or word part. The focus of phonology is finding the characterization of predictable attenuation between sound found in natural language. Those attenuations are caused by phonological processes. We can represent processes which characterize attenuation by means of rules. Rules are formal statements which express the relationship between units on the different levels of the phonological component. And attenuation itself is also divided into four types. And okay, for further and clear explanation about alternation types, phonological processes, and phonological rules will be presented by my friends. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Nanda Puspitasari Supriyono with three last student number 037, and I will explain about phonological processes. Phonological processes are kinds of phonological operations that result in sound alternations. There are 5 processes of phonological here. Then first, I will explain the feature changing rules. These rules affect individual features or small groups of features, such as nasal assimilation and nasal dissimilation. Assimilation is a process in which two sounds become more alike. It is divided into 2 types, namely regressive assimilation and progressive assimilation. Regressive assimilation is a kind of assimilation in which a sound influences the preceding segment. For example, the sound de, p, and k in independent, impossible, and incomplete respectively influence the sound n in the prefix in that is attached to these words. So in the word independent, the prefix in remains the same, then it becomes im in the word impossible, while in the word incomplete, it becomes ing. Then progressive assimilation is a kind of assimilation in which a sound influences the following segment. For example, the last sounds k, and s in book, dog, and bus respectively influence the sound s in books, dogs, and buses. Then the opposite of assimilation is dissimilation. It is a process in which two sounds become less alike. For example, in the word fifth and sixth. Those words are made by 3 fricatives, so it is difficult to pronounce 3 fricatives next to one another when one of them involves the t sound. As a result, the second fricative becomes a stop, which makes it more dissimilar and easier to pronounce. Next, we have deletion. Deletion is a process that removes a segment for a certain phonetic context. It is expressed in terms of a segment becoming 0, or in other words, we delete that segment. For example, a schwa is often deleted when the next vowel in the word is stressed, like in the word suppose becomes pose. We also can delete consonant de, for example, in word handbag, so it is pronounced like handbag. Then insertion is a process that inserts a segment into a particular environment. It is expressed in terms of inserting some segment A by starting with 0. For example, something is pronounced like something with an added the instead of something. Metathesis is a process of reversing the sequence of elements, often segments in the word. For example, bread in Old English, but in the modern English becomes bird. And in the word max may be realized as max. Here the sound segment of the cluster x at the end of the syllable is reversed. And last, reduplication is a process of copying part of a word and attaching the copy to the original word in order to create a new word. For example, are the word 50-50, willy-nilly, sing-song, and for the word in Persian, camp means little, and cam means little by little. Okay, I think that's all for me. The next material will be explained by my friend. Thank you.
Okay, for the next material will be delivered by me, Fahma Indrayana, with real student number 041. Before we jump into the phonological materials, we should know the phonological processes and characterize the phonological alternation resulting from them by means of rules. Phonological rules in the speech process which happen naturally that can be understood by both speaker and listener, and how speech sounds from pattern is made. In plain English, the rule is said A becomes B while it is between X and Y. The rule can be stated in the plain English as nasal are deleted after syllabic sound in word final. The next rule says glottalize. So here glottalize the voiceless oral stops in word final. Formally, that alternation is written as following, like bah become up, tah become ut, kah become uk. So here we are using the segment in a rule. We will need 3 rules for applying glottalization or final voiceless stops because the phonological enterprise is concerned with finding the regularity of sounds alternation in a certain phonological context and explain. B. This rule allows to express a process affecting the entire class of voiceless stops. In addition to the basic rules, there are notational devices and conventions used to express more complex relationships and operations. They are parenthesis notations, braces notations, subscript and superscripts, and also alpha notation. So let's move into the next explanations about these rules. So in parentheses, we use this bracket. This bracket is used to enclose optional elements in rules. Parentheses are used as a formal device for collapsing two similar rules when one contains a. So in parentheses, we have these rules. It said that A becomes B either between X and Z or between X, Y, and Z. For example, L velarization in English. Most varieties in English we have clear L and also dark L. For instance, clear L is in leaf, dark L is in fell. Alveolarization occurs either at the end of a word or before a consonant at the end of a word. There is an optional consonant which may intervene between the L and consonant. Next is to talk about the braces. Braces in here using brackets like this, or we call it curly brackets. This kind of bracket is used to represent an either or relationship between two environments, so that A becomes B either between X and Y or between Z and Y. Therefore, either X or Z must be present, both cannot be absent. For the example, the word of but. So based on the formula, that voice will be changed into a long voice if the, and we can say that these rules so as that th is catalyzed either at the end of a word or before another consonant. And based on the formula that provided in our module, the glottalized sound should be pronounced longer. So like what our module has stated, that these rules, if the sound is located at the end of a word or before another consonant, the sound will be glottalized. Subscript number indicates the minimum number of elements required for the rule to apply. Here, A becomes B when located between X and Y, and superscript number indicates the maximum number of elements required for the rule to apply. In here, A can become B if the A located between X and Y. For example, the long E sound is changed into a short E sound after any consonant and before any double consonant. This sound is changed after we implemented subscript and superscript formula. Next is alpha notation. Alpha notation represents either plus or minus, matching the value of an occurrence of the feature in question elsewhere in the rule. In here, if two rules are identical except for the values of the same feature, then the two rules can be replaced by a single rule. The values which are different in the two rules are replaced by a variable. Okay, that's all, and for the next material will be delivered by my friend.
Okay, next is the alternation types. So Davenport and Hannah, 1998, has been divided alternation types into 4, which is first is phonetically conditioned alternation. So I'm going to explain about the phonetically conditioned alternation first. So these alternation are conditioned purely by the phonetic environment in which the phones in question occur with no other factors being relevant. For example, in the word with versus win. So the notes if a vowel tones in English is followed by a nasal consonant, the vowel is nasalized. And the designation in this type is unobligatory in English. Second is a phonetically and morphologically conditioned alternation. So these alternation are conditioned phonetically and morphologically. For example, in the word live versus lives. And another example is house versus houses. If the noun ends in a sibilant, the plural takes from the is. And if the noun ends in a voiceless non-sibilant, the plural takes from us. The last is if the noun ends in a voiced non-sibilant, so the plural takes the form as. Okay. Another example.
All right. My name is Febby Diva with the last student number 020. I'm here to talk about the third topic, which is phonetically, morphologically, lexically conditioned alternation. So the such alternation are conditioned phonetically, morphologically, and lexically. The example is electric versus electricity. So the velar stop or k sound in electric is fronted and fricative to an alveolar fricative s in electricity before a high front vowel segment, which is E in derivational morpheme or the suffix "et". Electric is an adjective, while electricity is a noun. The next topic will be explained by my friend.
Okay, thank you, Febby. I am Aidatul Fitriyah with real student number is 048. Now I want to tell you about suppletion. Non-phonological alternation or suppletion is an alternation in which there is no certain phonetic conditioning or no phonological process and is not part of our phonological knowledge. For example, is like mouse to mice or go to went. Okay, I think it's enough from our presentation. If you have any question or suggestion, please let me know by put it on the chat forum. I apologize if any mistake during the presentation and thank you for your attention.